Hi, welcome to Glow's Kinder Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your support of our channel and your time. And I hope you guys have gotten a lot of stuff out of our videos. That's what it's all about, is sharing your ideas and recipes and helping each other out. So anyway, today I wanted to share with you a recipe that I have made through the years, and one way or another we switch it up a little, but today I'm going to be doing it with ham, and it's called split pea and ham soup, and it is delicious. And I know that probably some of you have never even had split pea soup, or some of you say, oh, I don't like it. But guess what? Your taste buds change over the years, and you may want to try this. This is an easy soup, it's delicious, and it's nutritious. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get started. I went ahead and did everything up ahead of time, so this will just come together very easily. The first thing I did is I opened up my 1 pound of green split peas. You can use yellow split peas. You can do a combination of it. Today I had the green on hand, so that's what I'm using. What I do, though, is I go through my split peas just like I do my dried beans. These are dried, and I make sure there's no rocks or sediment or anything in there, and then I rinse them in my colander. And I use a very fine mesh colander for this, because as you can see, these are small. So I'm going to go ahead and just set these in my pot. And when you rinse these, they will kind of stick together. And one of the natures of these peas is when you cook this and you chill it in the refrigerator for like the next day or whatever, it congels. And so when you pull that out of the refrigerator the next morning, it's going to be real thick, and you're going to be going, oh my gosh, what did I do? But that is normal. When you warm it up, it will thin out. But that's just the nature of the peas. And I've had that setting on the counter for a bit, so that's why it's all stuck together here, but it's all good. We'll get the rest of these peas out of here in a bit. They smell really good, though. It smells just like green peas. That's what they are. So anyway, the next thing I did is I took one potato. Today I used a red potato. Red potatoes are kind of sweet, and I thought it would go really well with this, and I had a couple on hand that I wanted to use, but I just used one. When you, and I did not peel this potato. The skin on it is delicious, and it also adds more nutrition. But when you cut a potato, like I did, and this has been sitting here for a good half hour or more, if you don't put water on it or some kind of a liquid, it will brown on you. So make sure you do that. And I'm going to go ahead and just pour that in here now. You can see the size I cut them into. They're small.
Pretty small.
Yep. So then the next thing I have here is I have 2 carrots that I diced up. You can see they're small. And they're all about the same size. This is celery. There's 2 ribs of celery here. And 1 yellow onion. You can use any kind of onion you have. But it just so happened that I had a yellow onion here in the kitchen. I thought, oh, that'll be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that all in. And depending on the size of your celery and also your carrot will depend on how much you use. Like, for example, the celery, I think I said 2, but there's actually 3 ribs of celery in here. I started off with 2, but my celery ribs weren't the best, and so they were like 2 small ones by the time I cut out the bad parts. So I have 3. So the next thing I wanted to share with you is yesterday I had cooked some potatoes to make a potato salad. And so I always keep my potato water. And the only thing in here besides the potatoes is a little bit of salt. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to this. That's just going to be additional nutrition and some added flavor. So that's 2 cups there. And so to that, I'm going to be adding 6 more cups of water. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. Now my pot here is a 6-quart pot, just so you know. You can use a tall soup pot if you want, you know, like a stock pot, soup pot, but make sure it's kind of a heavy bottom. It'll work better for you. So let's see if I can get the rest of these peas out of here. Yeah, there we go. So the next thing I have here, and this is where things kind of, everybody cooks a little different, but I just thought I'd share with you what I do. I have about half a teaspoon of black peppercorns in there. And then I have 1½ bay leaves. I'm just going to put the top on this. This I use a lot in my soups. That way I'm not having to, if I'm making a stock that's different, where I have bones and stuff in, where I'm going to be putting everything through a colander. But this soup, I wouldn't be doing that. And because of that, I would not be able to put these black peppercorns in here without putting them in here first, just to make sure that nobody, you know, gets a whole black peppercorn. And the same with the bay leaves. Now I don't have to worry about fishing them out. So I'm going to go ahead and just nestle that right down in there. Now I went ahead and I measured out the rest of my ingredients except for a couple. There's thyme in here, and there's also marjoram. Thyme, I have about between 1/2 and a teaspoon of thyme. And that's what this container is. And yeah, I used up the last of it. Marjoram. Marjoram goes really well with green peas. So I have that in here. There's about 2 teaspoons of that. And then I put a little bit of mint, dried mint in there. And I dry my own mint every year. I have some mint out in the yard. I'm sure everybody is aware that mint, if you put it in your yard, it's going to go wild.
It grows everywhere.
Everywhere. So when we moved in here, they already had mint here. But you have to corral it in or it's going to take over. But anyway, I took 1 leaf and I crumbled it up and put it in here. And it wasn't a large leaf. And I have a little bit of parsley, about 1/2 teaspoon of parsley. And I used the freeze-dried parsley for this. Let's see if and I'm going to put a little bit of allspice, ground allspice. If I had the whole allspice, I would have put that in. But I'm just going to put like 3 dashes to start with, and we'll see what it tastes like. I find that allspice really enhances this dish. So, but you don't want to overdo it because allspice is one of those spices that will take over if you let it.
Don't let it take over, Miss Glo.
No. And I'm going to do about 1 teaspoon of, this is just chicken flavored bouillon. And that's it. And I can already start hearing it starting to warm up here. Now, I have some ham here. What prompted this whole thing today is I had those dried peas in my cupboard, but I also had some ham left over from Christmas that I wanted to use up. So I took some of it and I cut it up. There's about 2 cups here. And I just cut it up in bite-sized pieces. I'm going to put about 1/2 of that in here to start with. And this is smoked ham.
Yeah, it's good.
So I'm going to go ahead and let this come up to a boil. And then we'll be back and I'll show you that step. And then you're going to put a lid on it and it's going to cook for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it should be ready. So anyway, I'll be back when this comes to a boil to show you what it looks like. And then we'll continue. Well, I just wanted to show you what this looks like. See how it's starting to boil a little here and breaking the surface? I'm going to let this boil for about 3 minutes. And then I'm going to turn it down to low. And it's going to simmer here with the top on for, hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I'll come in here and stir it every once in a while to make sure it's not sticking on the bottom. The other thing I'm going to do is I use liquid smoke sometimes. Since I'm not using the ham hocks today that are smoked, even though my ham is smoked a little, I'm going to add just a couple of squirts of this in here. And when I say a couple, you can see it's not even 1/16 of a teaspoon. But that will add some extra hickory smoke flavor to this. And Richard brought up a good point. I don't think I told you that this little thing here that I put in, my bay leaves and my peppercorns, that's actually what I consider a tea infuser. But I do use it for all my spices and stuff too when I'm making soups like this. But so if you're looking for something like that, I got mine at an estate sale years ago, but I have seen them on Amazon. So anyway, see how it's coming to a boil here? I'm going to let this boil for about 3 minutes, and you can see the froth on here. Don't be concerned about that.
Getting frothy.
Towards the end, I'll probably remove a little bit of that, but it's all part of the process of cooking this. There's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, I'll be back probably in an hour and a half, and we'll see what this looks like. Hi, well, it's been 2 hours. So let's go ahead and lift the top off. Oh yeah, look at that. When it was about an hour into it, I did sample it, and there were some seasonings I could tell I needed to add. I'm one of those cooks that cooks, by sight and sound and taste, and a lot of my recipes are in my head. This is definitely one that's in my head. I've never written it down. So with that being said, when I tasted it, I realized that I had not put in my Worcestershire sauce. So I did put a little bit of that in, just a couple of dashes. But when you add these different levels of seasonings, you'll be able to taste it. I did add a little bit more of the liquid smoke, not a lot though, maybe 1 or 2 more dashes. I did add some more of the allspice. So there was probably in between an 1/8 and 1/4 of a teaspoon total of the allspice. And this is ground allspice. I did add tiny bit more of the marjoram, maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon, and some white pepper. White pepper is a little bit sweeter than your black pepper, and it has a citrusy type flavor to it, and it did really help this. And then I added about a teaspoon of salt, and this is pink Himalayan, but you can use whatever salt you have on hand. But that's the ingredients that I added additionally to this, and now I have the other cup of the ham I'm going to add to this, and then we'll taste it and see what it tastes like. Well, I'm glad I went ahead and made this, so this recipe won't be in my head anymore. It'll be written down. I think that's true of a lot of us when we cook. We have a lot of recipes that are just in our head, and we just kind of wing it as we go. And we're not doing justice to our family and friends by doing that, because it's nice for them to have those recipes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and sample it here. But as you can see how the peas have cooked down, and all the veggies are very soft. I don't know if you could see how I just smashed that carrot right on the side there. So it's done. It took about 2 hours. Oh, this is delicious, you guys. Oh, so good. Excuse me. Yeah, this brings back memories of, each winter. And I don't make this a ton, and I don't know why, because it is so good. But actually, when this was cooking on the stove, my brother John called, excuse me, and he said how much he enjoyed this soup as well. And he actually said that he puts in a little bit of vinegar in it, in his bowl with it. And that helps, with the acidity of it. So it just kind of makes it more, it brightens it up, if you will. Kind of like lemon juice does to a lot of dishes. So I'll have to try that with this and see if that brightens it up anymore, although I don't think it needs to be brightened up. But I think that probably was due to the Worcestershire sauce and also the liquid smoke in it. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And if you have, please like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. And I hope you have a great day. Again, thank you for watching. Bye.